Hey everyone, my name is Igor, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to talk about visual regression testing for React applications using Storybook and Chromatic. If you ever merged a pull request which looked totally fine on code review but later broke the UI, then this video is for you. We will start with a simple React component, document it in Storybook and then integrate Chromatic to automatically take screenshots and compare them on every pull request. You will see how visual changes are detected, how diffs looks in Chromatic, and how this fits in the modern CI. Let's get started. Alright, chromatic.com will provide you with additional information about itself. You can see that this tool is built for visual comparison of screenshots. It has handy integrations with different frontend frameworks alongside with CI tools, and we are going to use it. You need to create a new account, and for testing purposes you can use just free one. And as later you will see how you can increase capacity of the screenshots. With limited free plan you have around 5,000 screenshots per billing period, which stands for 1 month. If you want to get more, you can open update plan and your account, and you see the starter package has $179 per month and it has 35,000 snapshots. Comparison for UI running on CI. Next, we are also going to use React, and let's open a terminal to install these tools. We are going to create a new project with this command: npm create vite latest. Then we are going to use react-storybook-chromatic and template React TypeScript. That's what we need for this lesson. And first we want to use roll down vite no, install with npm yes, and we are going to create a new project called react-storybook-chromatic. So project is installed, and as you can see you can verify it with a local URL, and we will see some default template for vite plus React. This is good. And actually we can proceed and open our created project. Next, let's open terminal. We will need it a little bit later. Let's close some additional windows. We don't need them for now. And let's continue. Let's verify it again. npm run dev if we are good, and open URL. As you can see, we should be good to go with default React component using vite. Next, what we need to do is to create our own component, which we will call button. Let's have some default button. We are going to create component folder, new folder, component, and we are going to create a new file which we'll call button.tsx. And let me paste my prepared code here, and basically this is just some default behavior where we have a button with different variants and with disabled state as well. Variant are going to be primary or secondary, and some label text for our button, and it's just simple visual representation of the button with our variant of the class and our label, our text. That's it. Next, we want to add some styling. Let's add button CSS file, button.css, and let's paste some default style. So our button going to have paddings, border radius, font size, border is just default configurations, and two states: button primary with this color and button secondary with this color, so we can distinguish between them. And if state is disabled, we will have opacity and cursor not allowed. Right, and next we want to include our CSS file into importing, and let's add it. Import button.css. Let's save it. Alright, next let's move on. Now we want to install our storybooks, and let's do it. Let's open terminal and let's arrange new session in terminal. And our installation command for Storybook looks pretty simple. npx storybook latest init. We are not only installing but also initializing with some default files. Yes, and Storybook, we need to wait a bit. We are going to choose minimal configuration. You can choose more widely as you wish. Let's wait a bit for dependencies. As you can see, our Storybook is installed and we have some default files opened. Storybook brings you some initial files like primary, secondary, large, small buttons. This is not our button which we created, but some default elements when you just install the Storybook. This page is open automatically right after installation. As you can see here, Storybook is running right now. Let's stop it for now and let's just remove some default stories. We are not interested in them. Let's verify Storybook by running default command npm run Storybook. We should launch Storybook, but we have empty configuration, and this is expected. Now it's time to add our own storybooks for our button component. I prefer to add storybooks nearby the code, so it's easy visually see if we have coverage for component itself. Let's create a new file. Let's call it button stories.ts6. And I have prepared Storybook for this button, and let me paste it and show you what we got here. Actually, let's move it under component folder, move. Yes, and we should be good to go. And so we have two states, as you remember, it's primary button and secondary button, but also we want to cover our disable button. So this Storybook is for 3 different cases for our visual representation of our button. Let's save it, and now let's try to open our Storybook again, and we can see here our primary, secondary and disabled state buttons. So Storybook is usually used to have a visual representation which we could present to our designers and have some remarks from them, or for example we can use it for visual regression testing, as in our case that's Chromatic, which we are going to install right now. There's a command npm install Chromatic. And let's wait a bit. Now Chromatic is in place. Now it's time to create a new project in our projects folder, and let's create a new project. Let's give it a name demo react, continue, and we are going to choose Storybook. That's our source of UI changes, and as you can see, it proposed to install it. We already have it. And next, it proposed to publish our storybooks to Chromatic using this command. So you can do it not only on CI, but locally as well, just before committing the changes. Now let's do it. Let's copy paste the command. We will need project token. That's your own project. Make sure you are not exposed it to anyone. I'm going to delete it after video is done. Mine. Let's run it, and we have some error, which is good. Unable to execute git. That's because we need to initialize our repository. For that, let's create a new repository in Git. Let's open GitHub and let's create a new one. Let's call it demo react as is, and it's going to be public readme create repository. Next, we need to do a couple of steps. As you can see here, there's detailed instruction on how to initialize existing repository, so we will use git init. Let's call git init. Next, we need to set remote URL for our project. Let's set it. Fine. And now we need to add all files to the git add that. Right. And let's try to commit. Let's have first commit, git commit, and let's publish to branch main, and let's push it. Fine, let's update the page and we will see our files here. Isn't it easy? Like a couple of commands and you're ready to go to the next step. So next step will be trying to run our chromatic command. Let's do it. npx, and as you can see we don't have that error anymore, and now we are going to publish our first set of changes. And let's open our chromatic, this one. Let's update and let's wait a bit as we are going to publish some results. We will have 3 tests, as you can see here, for 2 variants and 1 for disable. Alright, build is success and we can update. Nice, you publish a storybook. And now we have 1 component, 3 stories, and it takes around 15 seconds to finish. Let's add our workflow for CI. As you remember at the beginning of the video, I promised to give you a CI workflow where we will run our changes on every pull request. Let's add it. So we need to have a new folder which we will call .github. This folder should be at the root of the project. So let's move our folder to the root. Move. Nice. And now let's create workflow folder, workflows. And now let's create a new file which we'll call chromatic.yaml. And let's paste our changes. So here we will have pull request minion and branch main. So on every pull request to the main branch, we are going to run this workflow. This workflow contains of jobs which is chromatic, run on Ubuntu latest. We will use checkout. We are going to pull all the changes. We are going to set up our node version 20, and we are going to run npm CI. This is a script which we are actually automatically added. We are going to install all the libraries needed for us, and finally it's npx chromatic. And as you remember, we are going to not expose our chromatic project token, so we will need to add it to the secrets. I will show you how to do it, but for now let's open back our package.json and let's remove our project token. We don't want to show it to anyone. Let's save it. Let's get back to our YAML file. Let's save it. Let's copy the name of our secrets. Let's open GitHub and let's open our demo React and go to settings. Now let's search for secrets and variables, actions. Let's add repository secrets, new repository secrets. Let's have a name, chromatic project token. Now let's copy the value of our token and let's add a secret. Now we should be able to reuse it in our workflow. Let's head back and let's push our changes. Let's just add chromatic workflow and yeah, let's commit it and sync. Okay. Now it's time to open a pull request and actually verify that our workflow is running fine. Let's switch to our code and create a new create a new branch, which we will call change color. And in this branch we are going to edit our CSS file. We will change it from ground will be not white, but let's have just red color. Yes, and now let's just commit change button color. Let's edit, let's commit it and publish the branch. Now it's time to get back to our demo React project, create a new pull request and see what we are going to get. Would it be a green build? No, I don't know, let's see. And now we need to wait a little bit as we have Chromatic run here. Let's open it and see what we got here. First check out the code, next setup node. Now we are running installation command. Let's wait a bit. Chromatic is running as well. As you can see, it suggests that we have a shallow copy with actions checkout v2, and that's expected error. We need to adjust our checkout with fetch depth 0. Well, let's do it. Let's open the code. Let's open our Chromatic URL. And this is checkout v4 actually, but still let's fetch depth 0 and let's commit it. Update Chromatic workflow. All right. And let's get back to our project. And now we should be able to see build number 2. Let's wait a little bit. Build should be here. I don't see it for now. Where is it? Let's open actions. This action, it says because we did it wrongly. Invalid workflow file, unexpected value fetch depths. Let's fix it. We are going to open our workflow and of course let's add a with, let's add with and fetch depths like that. Fix workflow, commit and sync our changes. And now we should be good to go. Let's open actions and see our changes are in progress. Now I hope we'll be able to verify it. So just that you know, we need full depth for Chromatic in order to verify commit from main branch and the difference between them. That was the initial reason. And now it looks more better. We are running our Chromatic, first building a storybook, publishing a storybook, and then verifying with the baseline. Now we are waiting for 3 running tests. Let's open our demo React project. Here you will see first build, which is in progress right now, but it should fail as we will have drastic changes on UI. Let's wait a bit. Concerning that it takes so much time. We have only 3 different UI elements and it's basically comparing 3 screenshots, and still it took more than 1 minute. But well, it is what it is for now. And it says that we have 1 change which needs to be reviewed. And if we get back to our pull request, you will see that Chromatic failed, and that fail actually shows here and not all checks have passed. And so yeah, on pull request we see what is wrong, and let's open it, see why is it so. That's because use case this command failed with exit code 1. So results are here, and we have one unreviewed change, and this is the UI representation of basically what was changed. And here you can see precisely and compare it to what's actually wrong with it. And you can accept or deny changes, and that's the most interesting part. You don't need automatically update it in your code, but just let's pretend we want to accept the changes. And now build number 4 is looking green, but still you will get back to the pull request and you still have an error. But as we accepted our changes, let's try to rerun our workflow. Run all jobs, yes, and this should give us a green result. That's how you work. You detect the changes, you verify the changes. If it's acceptable, you just accept it. If not, you fix an error. Isn't it looking great? And I mean, you can build, of course, manually such a solution, and I have a video showed you how to build a chromatic-like version for free on your own, but it's just so handy to have it out of the box with minimal time required for setup. And as you can see, we are green, and as we come back to a pull request, it's all green. Final words which I want to share with you is that if you are developers looking the way for UI comparison, I would state that it is one of the best solutions to have. If your team would provide you with support of paying for additional snapshots, you are really good to go. But if you are seeking for your own solution to avoid any additional costs, you also can view my previous videos regarding this topic. And if you are an SDET or QA automation who is looking for UI comparisons, there is also Playwright coverage for Chromatic available, so don't hesitate to try it on your own. Stay tuned and sharpen your knowledge. See you in the next videos.